Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing this really beautiful glam kind of sultry purple look on my wonderful friend Emily. I think this look would be perfect for a night out or maybe even prom because I know it's prom season and you could change the colors up to match your dress a little bit more. So if you want to see how I got this look, just keep on watching. Alright, to start off with, to moisturize, I went ahead and used the same stuff I use on myself. She does have drier skin on the outer perimeter of her face, but I knew that both of these products would work just fine, so I used the Cucumber Water Gel as well as the Mario Badescu Spray. Next, I just took the Makeup Revolution Liquid Highlight in the shade Starlight and just dotted it all over her face. I just put like droplets here and there so I could smooth it out and get an even application. I just wanted to add a glowy base to the foundation, and it didn't really shine through that much in the end, but just I feel like it added like a nice subtle touch almost. And because I envisioned this look to be like night out kind of a makeup, I just thought this little extra touch could just really add something to the look. Next, I went in with this Milani Prime Correct. It is a green primer which helps combat redness, and it's also for pore minimizing. And though she doesn't have a big issue with pores under her eyes, I just thought this would help smooth out that glitter under her eyes that I had placed there, so. For foundation, I mixed my trusty Covergirl Vitalist foundation with the NYX Total Control drops. Though neither of us can wear that Covergirl foundation by itself, the control drops really help to create a personalized shade because she is not the same color as me at all, but I could still use these two foundations that I know and love, and it turned out really beautiful even on her drier skin. Obviously, as far as application goes, I am just bouncing that into the skin with my L'Oreal Beauty Sponge. For concealer, I went ahead and used the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in shade C1. I just took this concealer and dragged it underneath her eyes to just create a nice shape to her face, and obviously this concealer is actually a really good highlighting shade on her compared to how it turned out on me, so I just went ahead and took the sponge and just blended that in under the eye, and it honestly looked so beautiful on her and it blended out so nicely. I just thought it was just the perfect undertone and the perfect color for her skin. Obviously, because this shade is highlighting on her, I went ahead and used it just for that, just to go ahead and add some extra highlight to the face, and just use the sponge and blended that on out. Also, to help contour her face a little bit, because she has rounder cheeks and a very slim forehead, I went ahead and took that concealer and put it right at the top of her jawline, just to kind of bring her face in that section, just to create a more slimming effect. And I just always use whatever concealer I'm using for an eyeshadow base, so I went ahead and did that on her as well. I went into the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in 05 Fair just to set the under eye and everywhere I put that concealer. And because I wanted this look to be a night out, something that'll last a really long time, I went ahead and left some excess for baking while I did her eyebrows. For her brows, I used the Anastasia brow powder in the shade Ebony, but first I combed out her brows with a spoolie before going in with the product. And then I went ahead and just dipped my brush into the darker half of the powder to fill in her brows with. After I had them filled in, I just went in with a spoolie and just blended the fronts out a little bit just to create a little bit more of the fade effect, just to keep them looking natural. Then I went into the Essence Make Me Brow and Brownie Brows just to set her brows in place. Going back into the face, I just went ahead and dusted off that bake before setting the rest of her face makeup with the Coty Airspun powder in Translucent. To start on her eye makeup, I went into the Carli Bybel Deluxe Edition palette and just took that skin color shade just to set her eyelids. Then I went into this really warm brown shade on a big fluffy brush and just put this in her crease as well as all over the eyelids, not really worrying too much about being precise or keeping it clean at all. After bringing that nice warmth to the eye, I went into the original Carli Bybel palette and took the first light mauve shade she has in there and kind of took this on a smaller fluffy brush and put this pretty much exactly where I put the brown, just keeping it a little lower. Next, I just picked up that deeper cranberry mauve kind of a shade and focused this on the outer corner of her eyes, really building it up and just making it darker as I go, just not wanting to start off super dark, so it's better just like add on to it than just go in and have to blend all that out. I just went ahead and repeated this a few times until the shade just reached the depth that I was looking for. Next, I used the Profusion Sultry palette and went into that Nimble shade and just went right over the cranberry shade I just did, just to deepen it up a little bit. I then went in with a clean fluffy brush just to blend out the edges before reapplying the Nimble shade just to keep that deep tone to it. Literally in the middle of this look, I decided I wanted to turn this into a cut crease, so I just went back in with the Makeup Revolution concealer and just went ahead and started just cutting the crease and just followed her natural eye shape, not drawing it too much above where her natural crease is. I wanted this to be a pretty dramatic look, but I didn't want to cut the entire crease. I didn't want to cut the whole eye just because of the deeper shade on the outer corner. I just really liked how it looked, so I just kept it to the front half of her eye. Once I liked how the concealer was set, I went into the shade Canny and just set the concealer itself. And I know some people go right in with whatever shade they're going to use, but I just do this to keep the concealer from creasing on itself. Once both the eyes were done, I went into the Cargo Cosmetics Getaway palette and went into the shade Road Trip just to place over the cut crease. I really loved this shade because it was like a shimmery purple. It was just a shade I'd never really seen before, and I wanted to bring out the purple shades in the deeper eyeshadows that I had already used. Once I was done with the shimmers, I took a smaller blending brush and back in that shade Nimble just to blend out that harsh line that the cut crease had created, just to blend the look together better. For her lower lash line, I went in with the shade Nimble again on a smaller pencil brush just to bring the depth to the lower lash line as well. And to finish up the eyeshadow, I went back into the Getaway palette with the shade Luggage to highlight her brow bone and her inner corner. Then moving back to the face, I went in with the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster in the Matte Sculpting, and I just took that middle shade just to go ahead and contour. Then to bronze, I went into the e.l.f. contour palette and used that really loved bronzer shade just to add some warmth to the face. Then for blush, I didn't want something too pink, so I went in with the Wet n Wild Apricot in the Middle blush just to keep with that warm tone on the cheeks. Then to finish up the face makeup, I went in with the Wet n Wild highlight in the shade Precious Petals. Going back in to finish up the eyes, I went in with the voluminous Miss Manga mascara from L'Oreal, I believe. To line her lips, I went into the Rimmel lip liner in the shade Eastend Snob. For the actual lipstick, I forgot to show it, but I used the NYX Lingerie Liquid Lip in the shade Ruffle Trim. Then, just to add something extra, I went into the Kylie Metallic Matte Lipstick in the shade King K, and I just put that in the center of her lips. And that is it, you guys. I really hoped you enjoyed this video. I really love how this look turned out. If you did, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and a like, and subscribe if you feel like it, and I will see you in my next video.